Well, thank you all for having me here today. Riza was so kind to invite me, and I'm so excited to be here. I wish I can be there in the Philippines in person. Um, that's the best when we're all together. So Riza wanted to have me come on, and she was going to ask me a few questions. And before we get started, I'd like to talk a little bit about membership overall. So membership is our number one priority within Rotary. Article 5 of our policies states that it's our number one internal priority, with polio being our number one external programmatic priority. So why is membership so important? Well, we are a membership organization and we do the world's best service. So why do we want to grow membership? We want to grow membership so we have more hands and more hearts to do more service and to do more good things in the world. So when we want to grow Rotary, there's really three things we need to do, but we need to do those three things all at the same time. First, we have to attract members into our existing clubs. Second, what we need to do is we need to engage our current members. We do that primarily through service. And the third thing we need to do is we need to form new clubs. Why do we want to form new clubs? Because there's people that are not a part of Rotary yet, and we want to bring them into Rotary, but they haven't found a club that fits their needs or fits their schedules. When we form new clubs, we're able to meet their needs and meet their schedules, so we bring them into our Rotary fold. Now, while we do all of those three things, wrapped around that is our club culture. Now, club culture is how we do things in our club. If our culture is good, then people want to stay in our club. They want to bring their friends and their families and the people they work with and worship with. But if our culture isn't good, then people leave. And sometimes they don't say the best things about Rotary because they didn't have a good experience. Because after all, Rotary is like any other business. We're selling a product, and that product is the club experience. So, Riza, that's my opening comments, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about membership. And whatever it is, I'll feel free to ask it, and I'll answer it.
Yes. How do we move the needle in terms of growing membership over there? We know that Asia is some of the largest contributor of efforts to Rotary in terms of quality and growth percentage. So what should Asia, in particular, be doing to help grow membership globally?
So that's a very good question. And the answer is really simple. It's actually making it a priority and actually executing on it. You know, I remember years ago when I was a club president, when I was preparing for that role, we actually attended board meetings. And at every board meeting, once a month, we talked about what happened last month. We talked about our financials. We talked about what was coming up, but we never talked about membership. When I became president of our club, I always put that at the front of the agenda to make sure that we talked about it, because it is something that's urgent that we need to work on now. It's not something that we can put off and worry about later. Our club presidents, many of which are in the room, know that if you make this your priority and you start growing your Rotary Club, everything else is going to follow in line. When I was president of my club, we brought in 31 new members. But that's not the only thing that happened. After we brought in those members, we raised more money for the foundation, both our club foundation and Rotary International's foundation. We did more service projects locally and internationally. So when you bring those members in and you focus on membership as a priority, everyone else in your club is going to get excited about it. They're going to start coming up to you as president and say, listen, I brought my friend. Listen, I brought my family member. So if we make it a priority, we can grow. We just have to make sure that's our most important thing. And then when we do that, we'll have more hands and hearts to do service. We'll have more people to raise money to eradicate polio, and everything will get better. It's the one key ingredient to making Rotary relevant. Thank you.
Who are the right members to join? How do we balance the need be more inclusive when we decide to have members with the financial wherewithal to one projects and give more material And we're all here to give back. So how do we balance that? We want to be very concerned and not be seen as a business.
So I heard the question as, who are the right members for Rotary? And that's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that question, because we need to get the right members in the right club to make sure that those members are happy, their needs are being met, they're getting the value that they want, and that club is relevant for them. The interesting thing is Rotary is a lot of different things to a lot of different people. There's a lot of nonprofits around the world who focus in one particular area. Now, Rotary is complex because we have 7 areas of focus, and we have clubs that do local service. We have clubs that do international service. Now, who is right for a particular club may be different from club to club. On Monday, Stephanie is traveling to Atlanta, the Southeast United States, to go to the Rotary Club of Atlanta. They have 480 individual members in that club. They're composed mostly of business leaders, CEOs, individuals who are of a business nature. That is the right person for that particular club. My club is different. Your club is different. And this is why we need people to feel comfortable in their experience. There is a club for most people that exists out there currently. But if there isn't a club that fits somebody's needs, we can start a new club. And we can ask them what they want to do in terms of service projects, in terms of socials, in terms of how they want to interact in their environment. We have clubs of all different kinds. We have cause-based clubs that focus on particular areas for people who just want to focus on ending human trafficking or the involved. We can help them start one. So there is a club for everyone that fits in our current clubs. And if there's not, we need to start one where they can serve Rotary in their own way that fits their own schedule. Thank you for the question.
Leads us completely to the third question, which is that most of you guys are very long as revolutionized the role by warning almost on street interest-based development. And it's all been a couple of years. So the question I'm going on is how long this type of laws replicated in other parts of the world. And I was wondering if you could share with us some early news in terms of replicability in practice. So, for instance, environmental law or entrance law, or even the law against sexual or human job. Because the Philippines now, unfortunately, the Philippines is number one in Malaysia. Number one in terms of cyber sex. They're number one in terms of waste, the plastic waste in the ocean. So, we should have a lot of prospects. So, actually, you can share with us your takeaways and your learning from forming all the skills.
So it's interesting. When you go around the world, there's different clubs and different types of places. Regional adaptability dictates that we need to find out what our members want, what the members of our community want. There are many things that the Philippines does well. You do Rotary Community Corps very well. Other places in the world don't do that as well. So what we need to do is we need to reach out in our community and ask those potential people of action, how do you want to serve? And let them know that Rotary is a place where they can serve. You know, we have district grants, we have international grants, we have fellowships and action groups that can help them plan projects and do projects. So, you know, you have so many good things going for you in the Philippines, and we just have to figure out what people want in that area and design a club around them. You know, especially in North America, we have what's called impact clubs, where they are clubs that just do service. They don't really have meetings. Those who want to meet can meet, hear the speakers, but they are usually satellite clubs or companion clubs off of the traditional club that does nothing but meet to do service projects. So you can work on that plastic in the ocean. You can work on the ending human trafficking. You can do a service project at a battered woman's shelter, and you don't have to go to the meetings. So whatever works for our club members, we need to design a club that fits their needs and give them what they want. Great question.
So all over the world, clubs face membership challenges. Some are aging, some have leadership values, and others are content in their numbers. So what is the best way to convince some club leaders to set aside their old ways and find ways to transform their lives? Perhaps people who are more focused on club on the regular cause. How do we convince them to bite the bullet?
So that is a very good question. And you're right. Around the world, there's different issues in different places. In Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland, they seem to be aging. Now, we have two pilot projects that are trying to do two different things to solve their problem. We have Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland that is trying to structure new ways to bring in members. They have a hub, which is an electronic platform based on Microsoft Teams that brings people into Rotary, but they don't get assigned to a club. They could be trying to promote the health of the environment. They also have an enterprise system where they're trying to set up companies where it's not really a corporate member, but members of the corporation actually have their own club, their own Rotary club. Now, in the other area of the world, in New Zealand, Australia, and the islands around them, they're trying to change their governance to simplify things so there's not so much hierarchy, so that it's a flat system where everyone contributes as opposed to having individual leaders who are controlling different areas. So when it comes to growing Rotary, what we really need to do is we need to find out what works in your area. How do we do that? The best way to do that is to conduct a survey. Go out in your communities and ask them, what areas do they want to have an impact in? What things do they want to change? And then we can let them know that Rotary can help them, and they could form a club, and then we can help get them district grants and global grants. And once they do that first project, then they're engaged in the club. Then they look for their second project. You're right about in terms of leadership as well. Different things are important to different areas of the world. Different things are important for different ages, and different things are important for Rotaractors as opposed to Rotary clubs. Now, when it comes to Rotaractors, they are most heavily oriented towards leadership development, rubbing shoulders with people of significance in their industries so they can advance in their industries. Rotary clubs are more geared towards doing service. Now, why people join a Rotary club and why they stay and why they leave are all different reasons sometimes. Sometimes people join because they want to get connected in the community, but then they actually stay to serve. But your point, Riza, about leadership is especially important when it comes to Rotary clubs. Now, that's a benefit because we could actually train our Rotaract presidents on how to be good leaders, on how to lead meetings, how to start on time, how to end on time, how to, inspire volunteers. So if we do these things right, and we provide leadership opportunities in Rotaract, and we pick good leaders for our Rotary clubs, and not pick the same leaders again and again and again, because we don't want those individuals to get burned out, and we want to give everyone a chance to develop as a leader. I mean, you can go around the Philippines and you can go to your large corporations and let them know that Rotary is a place where they can send their employees and they can turn those employees into leaders. And it's a very cost-effective way of doing that. Thank you for the question.
Thank you very much.